We need pastors in America who stop pandering and start prophesying.
I mean, how can you tell men that they aren't allowed to have an opinion? I'm so sick of you sending me the memes and the statements and the little quotes and all. Listen, according to liberal logic, anyone can identify as a woman. I'm doing it right now.
You have a ministry to do. We need believers who aren't addicted to comfort, but they're committed to being called.
Please welcome Chad Prather.
How is everyone doing out here today? Are you inspired? Are you motivated? Are you excited? Do you feel like you've got passion and purpose? All right, this is sort of our recess. They told me to come out here and make you laugh. I said, well, I'm not funny, so we'll see what we can do. A lot of times I get introduced as an internet sensation, which is just a 21st century way of saying I'm unemployed, but I'm popular. I'm 52 years old. I'm in menopause. A couple of years ago, I woke up in the middle of the night with the night sweats. You know, you're laying there in a puddle. You guys, some of you don't want to admit that, but that's where we get hormonally, us guys. We wake up and you can't remember your name. You don't know where you are. You think you peed in the bed. And I was thinking, this is how Joe Biden feels every day. You know, at 52, I realized, I know that I'm not old. I'm just older. You know, things aren't falling off, but they are falling apart. You ever go to your doctor and tell him what's wrong, and he says, well, how did you do that? And you say, I woke up. The doctor did tell me I'm healthy enough for a lot of activities. The problem is when I do them, I get heartburn, and I can't figure that out. So I always say I'm still old enough to, I can still do all the same stuff that I used to do. I just have different results. You can set your alarm by me. A lot of you guys are the same way. You wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, you got to go to the bathroom. I figure I'm too young for life alert, so I take my phone with me in case I have that heart attack. And I've already pre-dialed 911. I figure if something bad happens, I can hit that final one and send, and they'll come find me like Elvis laying there on the cold bathroom tile. What, is that too soon? Okay, fine. No Elvis jokes. That's fine. No, I got the dad bod. I got women every now and then that say, oh, dad bods, that's a good thing. And I was like, lady, you're just at a point in life, that's the only thing you can get. They don't like that. Oh, hush. It's the truth, because none of you have ever laid there running your fingers through the hair on your man's back and been like, oh, yeah. I don't know if I'm with a Border Collie or Burt Reynolds, but come on, daddy. And I don't even care that I got the hair on my back. I just wish the patches matched. There ought to be some kind of aesthetics that go on with that kind of deal. And I don't even have the dad bod. I'm just fat. You know how to know when you're fat? Get around somebody that claims to love you and say, I'm fat. And if they don't say anything, you're fat. The doctor tells me I need testosterone. And I went to the doctor with that whole deal, and I was like, oh, man, this is a brand new experience. And men are funny. It takes testosterone to rule the world. That's what makes men men, what makes us masculine, and what makes them warriors, fighters, defenders, providers. It's the thing that made 8.5 billion people on the planet. Because if it was left up to estrogen, there'd be like 1,700. But testosterone is what makes men men. It's what makes us, for thousands of years of human history, leave the cave, go down to the river and club something over the head and drag it back and either marry it or eat it. But when it starts to drop, you don't feel so good, right? And so the doctors, they start trying to prop us up, make us men again. It's a weird thing that's happened in society. And you women, y'all have estrogen. Estrogen is a powerful hormone. It's what makes you nurturers. It makes you mothers, mama bears, all that good stuff. But something weird happens. Like in our late 40s, early 50s, we pass each other in the hallway in the middle of the night. And I swear, I think your estrogen jumps off on us. Our testosterone jumps off on you. And we know that because you wake up the next morning, you're in the mood, and we have a headache. You want to go join a gym and get in a yoga class. We want to nest and cry. I got a whole, you got albums in your phone that just says grandbabies, and you want to show everybody. We've been back here sharing pictures of kids and grandbabies all day long. It's fantastic. I love babies, man. I got 4 of them myself, 3 dogs, a cat, 4 kids, a vasectomy. It's the best $25 office copay I ever spent. And I love my kids. I got super smart kids. My oldest daughter just got married. I officiated her wedding. I gave her away and married her off. They came to me, my now son-in-law, he came to me, 27 years old. He said, I want you to know we're going into this marriage pure. We've obeyed God. We've honored God. And it was a pleasure to be able to give them to one another in the way that we did. And she's a teacher in Alabama. Thank you. And she's a teacher over in Alabama. My 25-year-old daughter, she's a professional dancer, like a real dancer, not one of the crazy, anyway. It's California. I don't know where your head goes out here. But she works for Disney. And she called me years ago. She said, I got an opportunity to tour with Disney. She's Elsa with the Frozen on Ice production. And so you know how hard it is when you have a daughter that grows up to be an actual Disney princess? That's a hard kid to tolerate right there. She really thinks she's entitled to some things. But when she told me she was going to work for Disney, I said, that's fine as long as they let you remain a girl. And it's crazy that that's the world we live in. But I was so proud of her. Out of 140 people that tour all over the country in Canada, she told me, she said that she and one other girl in that group voted for Trump. So I was excited about that. My 21-year-old daughter, she's a theater major at Auburn University, which means I'm going to be paying for her for a long time. And then my 18-year-old son, he just graduated last week or 2 weeks ago, valedictorian from his high school. But the week prior to that, he graduated from college with a mechanical engineering degree. Now you do the math on that. He had to be enrolled in a high school in order to go to school where he did to get the degree. And so he gave a valid, because we homeschooled, and so say something about homeschooling. I'm telling you, he gave a valedictory address to a body of students that he'd never even met. The only time he ever went to that high school was when he was 14. He had to teach the trigonometry class. And people say, how did you have such good kids? Because we know you. And you want to know the truth? I said, we taught them a value system and we beat their butt. And the beauty of having a big family, listen, I grew up, you know how this is. How many of you ever got a spanking? And you thank God for it, don't you? You remember the good old days when mama used to beat you with a wooden spoon and a fly swatter and the dog collar? She'd beat me with the dog still in it. I'd act up and here comes the dog. You're like, oh, that's child abuse. No, I don't know anybody that ever got spanked by loving parents that believes that. I don't think so. And I'm like, the beauty of having a big family is you don't even have to beat them all. You can just cut one out of the herd and beat that one while the others watch. Just make it real believable, you know? But they're great kids, man. And coming from where I come from, like I grew up in Georgia. I am a pro-life guy. I've been an outspoken pro-life guy since I was at the University of Georgia. I wrote for the campus newspaper on life issues and caught a lot of flack as 18, 19-year-old student there at the University of Georgia. And when I began there, and I always tell people, I said, I grew up in Georgia, went to the University of Georgia, went over there to play baseball, but I live in Texas. I'm seminally a Texan. I was conceived in Dallas, and I believe that life begins at conception, obviously, and back in 1972, Dallas was still Texas, and it's debatable now. But we grew up in the woods. I come from white trash. They still are. The white trash just got the joke. I love it. It's fantastic. No, we were so country. I got a cousin that got arrested for selling chicken salad sandwiches at a cockfight because she didn't have a food permit. And she called it the loser special, which I thought was fantastic marketing. And when I went off to the University of Georgia, I was so naive, like they would say things like, that fraternity house is haunted. I didn't know what that meant. They said, it's got a ghost. I said, I don't know what a ghost is. And they explained it. They said, you never heard of that? I said, where I come from, if you die in a mobile home, you're not coming back. Our houses weren't possessed, they got repossessed. We had to change the tires to move. And I won't go into the rest of the family. It gets kind of shady. I don't know if you've ever seen a stripper with gout, but Aunt Shirley, bless her heart. We live in a crazy world. I don't have to explain the insanity to you. And everywhere I go, I have the opportunity. I try to encourage people to get a vision, man. Get a vision. That's what these days are for. That's what these opportunities to hear these men and these women speak and to testify and to witness into our souls and just open ourselves up. Because I believe that God's called every one of us to see beyond our boundaries and see beyond the horizons. And we were so bound up with just a cloistered vision. We've gotten so provincial when God's called us to be very cosmopolitan and to really have a global view of really having a dominance and a dominion so that the kingdom, the dome of the king, the domain of the king can take over in every aspect of our lives. And so I encourage everybody, get that vision that's God big. And I think that that's going to lead you to passion, that thing that gets you up in the morning and makes you excited about what the vision brought to your mind. Because you need to be empowered by what you're seeing. And the hard part is it's easy to be excited about your vision, but get the discipline to make it actually come to pass. I know so many people out there who are just kind of playing life out of bounds. And one thing that God did for me last year is he radically brought me back into certain boundaries. He said, there's some investments I made in you as a young man, and now I'm going to make some very uncomfortable withdrawals. And it's been a blessing. And you follow that, it's a hard road. But you've got to go from vision, passion, discipline to risk and spend your life to accomplish that vision. And you got to do it, I believe, in that order, because risk without discipline is recklessness. And discipline without passion is legalism, and passion without vision is hype. But ultimately, hype without faith is meaningless. Faith, vision, passion, discipline, risk, get some of that, and I promise you, we're going to take over and change the world and choose life every single day. God bless you guys, and thank you for the opportunity to be here with you.